You're watching Showroom 18, and in this video we take a look at the Nvidia Shield TV, which was released in May 2015. We have the 16GB model that comes bundled with the controller and remote. There is also a 500GB model available. The Shield we have based this review on is running Android 5.1 and is powered by Android TV and Google Cast. Please note that through future updates, the menu layout and current features shown in this video could change over time. We have added navigation links into the description to skip to sections of the review you are looking for. Now let's start off with what you get in the box. This is the box the product came in, and normally when unboxing products it can be a nightmare to open anything without forcing or causing wear and tear to the box. It also can be difficult to repackage your items if you had to take anything back for repairs or a refund. This slides out, you remove the tape on the sides and open it up like this. The first thing you will see on the top is the Shield TV with very basic instructions. Lifting this up, we now have the gamepad with the support guide, USB and HDMI cable. Then lastly we have the power adapter with 3 different plug attachments, Type A, Type C and Type G. Opening up our second box, which depending on your package can be bundled or sold separately. Inside is the remote, and underneath we have a USB cable with the quick start and support guide. Placing it this way, the Shield TV is 8.3 inches in width and 5.1 in length and 1 inch in thickness from the higher parts coming down towards the front. It weighs 654 grams. On the top this is the light, below that is the power button, in front of that is the sensor. There is nothing on the sides or bottom, so turning it around and starting from the left we have the air ports, micro SD slot, micro USB 2, 2 USB 3 slots, an Ethernet connection, HDMI 2 and power in. Next up is the gamepad. On the front is the Nvidia button to power on the gamepad, access the menu and further options. This is to go back to the previous screen. Here is to play or pause music and video. Underneath this is the home menu. If held down can be used to record, broadcast and share games. Next is the D-pad, the left and right thumbsticks, A, B, X, Y buttons and volume controls. Over on the top we have the shoulder and trigger buttons with a micro USB slot and 3.5mm headphone jack. Last up is the remote. Starting at the top is the integrated microphone, the D-pad, select button, back button, home button, voice search and volume swipe. On the bottom we have the micro USB connection for charging and a slot for a 3.5mm headphone jack. Now we are going to look at the device specifications. The Shield TV has Nvidia Tegra x1 processor with a 256 core GPU and 3GB of RAM. With the 16GB model there was 10.42 GB available on first turning on the device and doing the required update. There is the option of adding up to 256GB external storage through the SD card slot. The video features are as follows: 4K Ultra HD playback at 60 frames per second, VP9, H.265, H.264, 4K capture at 30 frames per second at H.264 and H.265, supporting MPEG-2, MPEG-4, XVID, DivX, WMV9, ASF, AVI, MKV, MOV, M2TS, MPEG-TS, H.263, H.264, H.265, VC1, VP8 and VP9. The audio features are as follows: 7.1 and 5.1 surround sound pass-through over HDMI, high-resolution audio playback over HDMI and USB high-resolution audio upsample, supporting AAC, AAC+, EAAC+, MP3, WAV, AMR, OGG Vorbis, FLAC, PCM, WMA, WMA Pro, WAM Lossless, DD plus DTS pass-through, DTS HDMA pass-through, Dolby True HD pass-through. The connectivity features are as follows: 2x2 MIMO, 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz Wi-Fi. This is the home screen. Starting from the top is featured shows and games from the Play Store. Going down, this is the Shield Hub section. We have Shield Games, which is a more exclusive selection of Android games that make better use of the system, like Doom, BFG, Portal, Half-Life 2 and more. GeForce Now is Nvidia's streaming service. You have to set up a free account to access this page. There is options to buy and play games, but the majority of the games can only be streamed by members who are paying for the subscription. If you have a PC with an Nvidia GeForce GTX graphics card or higher, you can stream games from your PC to Shield at 60 frames per second, at 4K and 5.1, with the options of using keyboard and mouse multiplayer co-op. It is recommended to have both your PC and Shield connected into the same router through Ethernet. For further information and support on this, the Nvidia site has community forums and a full list of general system and hardware requirements, and is where you will need to download and log into the GeForce experience on your PC. Next is Netflix and BBC iPlayer. BBC iPlayer, which was not installed when I first started using the device. This part is where all the games you install are displayed. There were no games here at first either. It starts off as one row, and the more you add start to show up on the second line like this. All of the apps show up down here. There were 5 apps when starting, and all these others I got from the Play Store. 2 useful applications which can be found on the store is File Explorer for advanced settings and users to test additional files on the system. Then Kodi, which is an open source media player that can play high quality audio and 4K video through local and network storage with a lot of advanced settings. Then lastly on the home screen is Settings, Internet Status, Shield Accessories and Power. I'm not going to go through each of these, but you can get a good feel of what is here, which is where you can uninstall, check storage, change display, audio and further accessories. The Google Play Store has a smaller selection of titles than what you would find on smartphones and tablets. These are just ones that are compatible with Android TV and also depending on your location. It is set out as featured, movies and TV, entertainment, games, music, remote games, indie, action for gamepads. There is not that many as you can see here, but if you go here you get a bigger selection to look through. The same with going into games and selecting the genre. You cannot add payments through the device currently. You will have to add funds to the same Google account from your computer or phone. We tested this with a gift card and it works fine. There is a list of parental controls in App Store settings with options to ask for a password for every purchase. Now looking at the performance, the Shield's interface works smoothly and powers up applications very quickly. Both the remote and controller have great response times. Quality of content does depend on the applications you use. For example, YouTube will select the quality of videos depending on your connection, but there is options to choose the best manually. The remote does not need to be pointed directly at the device either, and when plugging in headphones it will switch the sound off the TV instantly and back to the TV when you plug it out. The performance of game streaming now really depends on a number of factors. The results I got will not be the same for everyone. It is only going to be as good as your internet setup. If you are on a slower connection, Ethernet is recommended as it will drop down quality automatically to the lowest of 10 megabits per second, but 50 megabits per second is required for 1080p at 60 frames per second. The games I played on GeForce Now had little to no input lag and responds as I am pressing the keys. When I was using the Wi-Fi, it did drop down quality and had a few moments of frames dropping and lag in different sections. It did alert me that the internet connection is slow during those drops, but I was able to get through the levels I tested without anything completely cutting out or freezing. I tested the performance of Android gaming through playing a mixture of games that work via the remote, games for the gamepad, fully purchased games, free to play, and using the Benchmark app. The Shield Android TV got a score of 4122, a graphics score of 5543, physics score 2172, graphics test 1 31.4, graphics test 2 19.6, physics section 1 50.5, section 2 22.4, and section 3 11.1 frames per second. Playing games like Half-Life 2 Episode 1 shows off the power of the Shield, and this ran smoothly and makes much better use of the gamepad. Half-Life did have slowdown, but only during big explosion scenes. Other games like Modern Combat 5, that game was very sensitive and aiming was very hard to do. The trigger button did not always work and overall it was very clunky. Beach Buggy Racing was not the best either in terms of controlling, but Airborne 8 controlled better. This confirms that it is more to do with the compatibility from the developer's side, making the games work for gamepads. Half-Life, Doom, Geometric Wars and others were made to be played on consoles. It is the ones that have not been ported over as well. They do need fine-tuning. The games purchased or downloaded from the Shield Hub are more suited for console-style gaming and work with the gamepad the best. The gamepad does not feel as great as the ones you'll find on consoles, but it does get the job done and is still decent. My experience with the device has been fairly a positive one. I never ran into any major issues. The only things I did come across can be fixed through updates from creators of the apps I tested and updates to the system. One of which is once the gamepad and remote are on, I was not able to find a way to power them back off while the device is on, and it did not seem to go off from inactivity. The same with some applications. There is not always options to exit the game, instead you had to go to the home menu and then into settings and look at running apps and close them off one by one. When I did this to the Bluetooth app, it froze the screen for a minute before carrying on. When setting the device up to Wi-Fi, it failed to connect each time I entered the password until I ticked the option hide passcode and then it connected. The sleep button on the front of the device is very sensitive, and when pulling it forward to add cables in the back, I did accidentally switch it off while an update was being made, as tapping all around this area will switch it off or on. BBC iPlayer seems to be the only UK based channel the device supports. There is a few other TV stations in the UK that have their own on-demand services and video streaming apps. Those are currently not supported on Android TV, but are on other set-top boxes. This was kind of disappointing to me, as most of the TV apps on the store are US based. The Nvidia Shield TV has a lot of potential to be a great multi-purpose device, and the down point is mostly down to the lack of support from Google and third-party developers. Once more applications and games support Android TV, the better the device can be. There is still a great selection of content, and based on the time of this review, the Shield TV will be better suited for owners of 4K TVs with a wide catalogue of purchased digital media and that lean more to the side of watching YouTube, Netflix, renting and buying movies from the Google Play Store, and prefer playing Android games on the big screen. This is a good price point for the quality and level of games it can run. Also, based on the current lineup of content, a lot of the games are more aimed towards the older market. There is very few child-friendly games. If you already have or plan to get subscriptions with Amazon Prime Video, this is currently not compatible or listed with Android TV. If you're looking at this for just PC streaming, a cheaper option is the Stream Link accessory. Then if you are looking more towards just streaming TV and have more than one subscription service, there is also more affordable set-top boxes than this. If you want to check what games are currently compatible, head to Nvidia's website and select the device of your choice to see the line of games currently listed. Thanks for watching. If you have any other questions, let us know in the comments section.